right. Can I get everyone's attention, please? All right. Hopefully you can see me. So for the last hour, we're going to show a few more videos, and then we're going to open it up for anyone who wants to come up and speak. And also, we want to welcome our Zoom family to essentially raise their hand virtually and let us know that they want to speak, and we will allow them to say some words. So I'm going to get started on a video.
Poetry, no one's older than me, no one is older than me, no one is holding me back. So I'm gonna keep it flowing like a Mississippi river, but I ain't punching throwing punches like Willa and Manila. Yeah, that's a reference for like Muhammad Ali, but you can't be me, so try to be you and be you. And yo, try to be coming, yo, Plano, hit them with that lyrical Drano. Make they rhyme, make their head open up, flowing up. Just beat hard solid.
Ain't nobody tripping over here. Go ahead and spit or get up off of here.
What?
No. Where my drink at? Where my smoke at?
I got a niece named Bree L. She's a dancer. They asked me a tough question. I didn't have the answer. And now I rock a fade, but I'm about to cut my hair, grow in some braids, maybe some dreadlocks. Baby Jonah, where you at? Yeah. Go Bryson, go Bryson, go Bryson.
Yeah, this CD, nice on the beat. You know it's me. I got my squad and my team. Bree, T, Jonah, Nana, Uncle Reno, and Uncle Joe from Bruce.
Some old college stuff.
Go ahead, Bryce.
Remember that stuff?
You had something.
All right, let me see if I can go back to college. All right. Since I can't turn a page, I run the stage when I'm spitting. Ripping with God-given ability, with the agility of Walter Payton in his prime. See, I'm a bad poker hand. I'm one of a kind. And my man Suli, who liked to rock the cool fees, he hit it on a dime. He told me that revolution will always be considered a crime. So I have no choice but to run against the grain, because I am revolution. That ain't no metaphor, no silly gimmick. I don't do poetry. I live it. I don't recite it. I spit it. This game of life is a death match, so you best believe I'm in it to win it. I walk in the spirit of Malcolm X and Nat Turner. I'm a crook in a bookworm with a blunt and a burner. I told Ted Turner there's a new mouth in the South. So when I cock back my tongue, it'll make your brains hang out. I done mastered this lyrical misogyny. I'm the difference between chaos and harmony. I'm a quiet ride, it's too cold to hold, so don't even try it. I'll put your fat farm on a diet. I'm raising the stakes in this game so high that even Viacom can't even buy it. Speaking of the media, I'm really getting heated with all these black radio and television actors acting like they're community activists, but actually they perpetuate the very mentality of the people that's pulling us backwards. They booby trap the airways with buffoonery and blackface, and I bet they got a bad taste in their mouth from all that bull stuff they be talking. Since I'm up here soapboxing, I may as well go ahead and say it. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People is an outdated organization. I mean, when's the last time somebody called you colored? It's time to face the facts. We live in a drug and thug culture, X and crack and coke and smack, and these young cats is fresh off the Similac and already know how to load a gat and flip a pack and become high school dropouts and hit the block. Because their street game way tighter than their jump shot. But I'm sorry, you can't fix no stuff like that with a boycott. See, it's time to revolutionize the revolution. Playing politics to organize confusion. You can't just pick up a 9 and just start shooting. First, you gotta pinpoint your target. If you want to battle the beast, you gotta be a marksman, and a sharp mind makes a sharp shooter. With one single thought, you can devise a plot to take over the world with a gat and a laptop computer. The primary purpose of people in power is to maintain a power. Since knowledge is power, you got to be relentless in your pursuit of the truth with the same convictions as a condemned man trying to prove his innocence. That's revolution.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Hayes. I'm a poet and spoken word artist, and I'm very sorry to hear of the passing of Callie Starks. Callie was a beacon in the Atlanta poetry community when I first started almost 15 years ago now. I met Callie when I was a teenager. I was going to Apache Cafe. It was probably the best time to be going to Apache. That was back when we had John Good and Spinks and Georgia Me and Abyss and Emerald Green, and it was just a time of powerhouse poets in Atlanta. And Callie was one of the first poets I met. I think I met him at a poetry slam. It was like him, Tommy Bottoms, and a bunch of heavy hitters, and I was probably in way over my head, but they saw a young poet and ultimately mentored me along the way. Callie and I ended up doing a song that is now 11 years old. I don't even know what I was saying during the time, but I remember Callie being a person who was willing to experiment, and more importantly, a person who was willing to collaborate. And so as we think and honor him today, I hope we think of the way in which poets leave work for us to cherish. You know, that's the cool thing about being a poet or being an artist, is that even when we are no longer in these physical bodies, our work gets to stay in the world. And so I hope that we revisit Callie's work. We revisit all the beautiful gifts. I think that for a poet to leave poetry, it truly is a gift. So hopefully we visit those things and find comfort and solace in the work that he was able to do in such a short period of time. I know he has impacted many other poets in the Atlanta community, and I am so grateful to have gotten a chance to meet him so early in my career. Even last year, Callie was doing tour stories and talking to artists about what happens to them on tour. So he's always investigating the craft and always curious and always questioning. So hopefully you take that comfort with you, that he did great work while he was here. I do wish you all peace. I hope that your grief feels a little easier as the days go by. I hope that you are comforted. And ultimately, I wish you all light and love. Thank you so much for the opportunity to share a few kind words. And I hope to see you all again one day.
Rest in pens, rest in pamphlets, rest in poetry. One love, Callie Starks, from the infamous Cola Rum.
Leno was amazing. Anybody that he met just wanted to know him. He touched so many people's different lives. And I had an opportunity to be with him for 2 weeks. It was so much fun. I remember he said, I left my bike. I'm like, man, I don't know what to tell you. I can't go get it. But we did. He put it in the trunk. I'm like, oh my goodness, Larry's going to kill us. But we had so much fun for the 2 weeks, and I am so, so blessed that I had an opportunity to be with him for them 2 weeks and just be in his world and him meditating and just being Leno. You know, as I always say, Cousin, I'm waiting for that phone call. Cousin, I'm waiting for that phone call. But Leno, I'm gonna miss you, and you rest in peace. You say hey to Granny. You know, y'all gonna have a good time together. I love you so much, Leno, and rest in peace, Leno. I love you so much.
Hey everybody, gonna miss you, Leno. Man, you were just a shining light, man. Every time you came here, it was just a blast and a joy. I'm gonna miss you like another brother.
Yeah, it was always fun when he came to Vegas. It was always something to look forward to, something that's not just the normal, gambling, everything that happens here. My favorite memory of him is when he slipped me a good bit of money that he won behind his brother's back. So.
Cousin, we love you, we miss you, you'll be forever in our hearts, and I know you love Las Vegas, and you and Eric had this thing. We won't tell everybody the secret, but it's, what is it, Eric?
RMFR.
RMFR. So we know you're up in heaven. RMFR, we love you, Leno.
And every time we see a bird, man, I'm gonna think of you.
That's another inside joke, but we love you, Leno.
So at this time, we wanted to open up the podium to anyone who wants to share any memories, thoughts, prayers. Elena?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I'm his uncle / surrogate father. We made this journey together some 33 years ago. Me, him, and Ray Ray was in the U-Haul, Leno in the middle, Ray Ray on the end. And when we went through certain areas, there were things that we saw that we'd never seen before because we was actually from Michigan. And the sign was saying, "Watch for falling rocks." And that was really, really kind of like a culture shock to us. And as we were going around the mountains and everything and at a high altitude, Leno was in the middle. "Look, Unc, look at that, Unc, look at this, look at that." And I'm driving a U-Haul with a hatch on it, with everything. And it was like, I tried to look and Ray Ray would say, "Man, keep your eyes on the wheel." So we just had, we played the fart game, the burp game. We just played it all. And one of the, I got a plethora of memories with my nephew / son. I mean, just a plethora of them. And I, for the poetry thing, when I saw him perform, I was totally amazed at what he was doing. And I actually told him, I said, well, after listening to what you are, and what you bring to the poetry stage, I said, I want to give you a different name. And that name that I gave him was called the Pinnacle Palette of Poetry. And I'll say it slow. I won't have to say it no more. The Pinnacle Palette of Poetry. And so what he would do whenever he called me, he would say, "Hey, this is Pinnacle Palette of Poetry, man. What's going?" So he would embrace that name with me. And I tell you, man, Leno was the type of guy that he did it his way. There was things that I would say to him, Ray would say to him, and he would be like, yeah. I was like, Leno, you come out here on a one-way ticket, man, and a backpack and whatnot. Leno would be like, look, man, hey, this is how I'm going. Leno did his thing, and he had faith in what he was doing. And one other thing that I remember is that when we went out to Las Vegas, and we would go out to Las Vegas every year, me, him, and Ray Ray, and it would be a bonding that we would do. And he introduced me to a game called Small, Tall, and All. And I remember one time we was there, Leno did extremely good. I think he was like in 4,800. Ray Ray was in 30 something, and I was in 20 something. That was good for us, right? That was the first year that we had done real good. And so I said, yeah, it's time for us to go on and lay it down. So we laid down a 2-bedroom, and Elena would always be on the couch because Ray Ray would call rank on him. So anyway, we laying there, and all of a sudden I hear a door open up and close. And I said, Ray Ray. He said, yep, that's Leno. He going back out there. So we got a lot of fond memories, man. And I just want to always, like Alexis has said, my sister, she said she just want to remember the good times with him. And that's what I encourage us to do. And I also think that him passing should bring us closer together as a family. Let's try to, greet each other and have a time where we can celebrate together. You know what I mean? And I think that that's the message that I got out of this whole thing. And in closing, I just want to say this, that I actually know Leno is in a way better place than what we are. And I want you to remember that, Alexis. Okay? Peace and love.
Oh, don't forget he painted
Oh.
He painted the bathroom. We'll never change it.
My wife told me he painted our bathroom too. So I put him to work. So yeah. All right. So that's it. Love, much love. And everybody just stay safe and stay prayed up. God bless you.
Anyone else would like to?
Peace, family. What's going on? Raven. Leno was my cousin, but he was my brother too. Leno had a way about him that was so intuitive and very smooth and he just had a very lovely vibration, and it was always a treat to see him at the crib at my parents' house. He'd be chilling on the couch, like, what's up, cuz? And we'd chat and everything. And it was always really lovely memories and lovely times. And in the 3rd grade, I was doing spoken word. This was something I was exploring in the 3rd grade. And Leno actually wrote the first poem that I've ever spoken. And I auditioned for like this young poets thing, like this Oakland-wide thing. And I said the poem that he wrote for me. And I ended up having the opportunity to tour Oakland performance spaces and orate this poem that my cousin wrote for me. And through this poem, it was a poem about Black history. And through this poem, he opened up a door for me to explore my ancestry and to find pride in my history and to use my mind as the warrior from my heart. And that's really what Leno always did. He used his mind to be a warrior for his heart, and his words were his sword. And I always love him for that. And I love all of y'all, and I'm really glad and blessed that we're able to come together during these times, even on this weird digital space. I'm glad that we're able to share love in space and share the memory of Leno, Callie Starks, Ramon. I love all of y'all. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, Raven. Terrell is gonna say a few words.
Hello, family. Man, I met Ramon in 1997. I met him through his brother. I met him through his brother when I moved from California. I was 19 years old, right? I had to create a fake ID to hang out with Ray because, he was much older than me to go to the club. So I was 19 years old. Met him at a job. During that time in my life, I actually got kicked out by my dad. Then when I moved to California, my mom's moved to Sacramento, so I was pretty much homeless. And during that time, when I met Ray, he met me with open arms. He treated me like a little brother. And So, you know, we began to build a real close relationship. And he said, Blood, man, you remind me of my little brother. I'm like, wow, you know, he used to tell me that the stuff his brother, you know, type of music he listened to, and we used to go back and forth. And then to one day, later on that year, I think either early 98, his brother came to visit. I was out there for about a week, and instantly me and him just bonded, you know. We just bonded instantly. He kept saying how cheap the gas was here, like 88 cents. And, you know, we was paying like $2 in California. I'm like, man, I need to try to get there. So, you know, I built this relationship with Ray until one day, you know, Ray don't know this, but, you know, when he told me about the move to Atlanta, you know, I was like, I'm out here once again by myself, homeless, sleeping in the car. And, you know, I kept in touch with him. And then Ramon's like, hey, Blood, why don't you come on here to the A? Man, he ain't had to say nothing but a word. I jumped on a Greyhound bus, one-way ticket, and came here the year 1999. It was right when that Y2K thing was jumping off. I remember bringing in New Year's at his mom's house, all of them. And, you know, I hung around Ray a whole lot. Normally he keeps his composure. But that one year, he got drunk real bad. And I ain't never seen him, like, you know, and Ray was, you know, Ramon was, you know, tended to him. And I'm like, man, you know, so, but when I got here, Ramon, you know, even though Ray was the older brother, he was trying to, you know, do his thing, but me and Ramon got extremely close. You know, he took me under my belt, took me under his arms as a little brother. You know, I'm 42 and he's a couple years older than me, but he made sure I was straight here in Atlanta. You know, he did so much to me to the point you know, I witnessed him buy his first house, which he taught me how to do that. You know, he was always there, you know, even from the birth of my kid to just there, man. I'm still trying to figure out if this is for real, you know, but I'm not sure, you know, but, you know, his life impacted me so much that I'm part of his legacy as long as I live, because, you know, coming up and pretty much actually start out of my own family. Between him and Ray, they brought me in as, you know, the third wheel. And, you know, especially Ramon, there was times that, you know, we would just kick it and just have deep conversations. Now, the weird thing about Ramon is it was never one time that we agreed on anything. One thing about Ramon was, if I say that's blue, he gonna say it's sky blue. And, you know, I'm like, man, you know, I remember this one time we stuck on 85 like a year and a half ago. So some explosion happened on Jimmy Carter. We just leaving one of my buildings downtown. And so we decided to get out the van and on the highway, right? So we end up talking about basketball. And, you know, most people can agree Michael Jordan's the greatest player of all times. You know, some odd reason he finds a way to put Kobe Bryant better than him. And I'm like, yo, you can't say he's better than him because Kobe said out his own mouth, I'm not better than Jordan. No, he's better than Jordan. I said, dude, he has all the scoring titles. No, he just tried to make Kobe just, you know, better than him. But the beauty part was, like his uncle said, he you know, he does his own thing, you know, and that's the thing I'm gonna miss about just the debates, even the arguments, man. You know, just the disagreements. We never, and then the one time we did agree on something, it just felt weird because he looked like, I'm like, yeah, you're right, bro. He's like, then you know, so he's always trying to bait people into these debates. And it was good times. You know, I'm gonna miss that, you know, them late nights of playing pool at my house. And I used to drag him to church. I said, look, dude, I'm not taking you nowhere. You going to church with me in the morning. You know, he would go to church. But man, what touched me one day is out of the blue a couple years ago, he called me. Said, what's going on, man? He said, man, I gave my life to Christ. I said, what you mean you gave your life? Tell me the experience. He said, man, I got up one morning and looked in the mirror and I accepted Jesus. I said, for real? He said, yeah. I'm like, whoa. You know, it was touching because he called me And he shared that with me. The type of bond we had, man, you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do without him. Cause he was always one phone call away when I needed help cleaning buildings. You know, he was there when my first child was born. You know, with me having a cleaning business, you know, it's a grind. But he took care of everything so I can experience my first child. He said, dude, I got you. Enjoy your child. And he took care of everything, man. And it's just so many stories. Then, you know, when he turned to a vegan, you know, inviting him over to the house got kind of tricky, you know. So, you know, my wife, you know, being understandable, she started making sure he had his stuff, food or whatever the case may be. But man, I miss him, and you know, he's taught me a whole lot of stuff without even saying nothing. You know, and I too was subjected to those old stories. You know, he always bring up the stories in California. I'm like, man, I was 19 years old, but what I got out of it was that was his way of keeping me encouraged. You know, as a person that had pitfalls, he's always found ways to keep me encouraged until, you know, just always was there. Then I just realized last year, a year and a half, that was my best friend. You know, and then I just started saying, I love you, man. You know, Ramon wouldn't say it back, you know what I'm saying? But I just used to mess with. I said, man, you need a hug. So I would try to hug him, and he'd do this number, man. So, you know, I used to meddle with him because I know it just strike a nerve in him. I used to just get on, you know, because he'd do it to you, you know. So, you know, I just say, you know, I'm gonna start striking his nerve, just to be meddling with him. But man, you know, I'm gonna miss him so much. I got a hold of my heart because me being the only child, and you know how Ray and Ramon kind of just brought me into the huddle, man. You know, it meant a whole lot when I was homeless in California. But you know, when they opened the doors for me to come here, you know, I just took off every sense. You know, but I couldn't have did it without him believing in me, always, and always just, you know, said, man, you come a long ways, and I don't pay attention to it because I'm steady running. You know, because in my head, I said, I ain't trying to be homeless no more. And, you know, some years go down just running and running. But, you know, you got to have a partner like that to pull you to the side and say, man, you come a long ways, bro. You know, and this last call that I talked to him, I told him, man, I miss you. And I want you to move back to Atlanta, man. I said, come back, man. I said, look, this is a salary I could get you. And this is, you could take one of the vans, just, I need you to. And, you know, by that time, you know, in my heart of hearts, I said, he ain't coming back here. You know, he was in a good place, and that's what I wanted to see him win. But at the same time, I was selfish because that was my best friend, and I couldn't call him. You know, he's not around the corner no more. But, you know, I told him I love him, man. I miss him. You know, and he said, you know, one thing he did tell me, he said, man, I'm proud of you, man. You know, it meant so much coming from him because, you know, he was there. And now, you know, I don't know. You know, he was my brother, my best friend. And I'm ever thankful that God allowed him to help mature me to be the individual I am today. Thank you.
Hey family, this is Gail, Reggie's wife. I would like to say that I miss my son. Leno was like a son to us. You know, he stayed here, he came, he just, you know, he always made himself at home. And, you know, I would always go out and get his little favorite treats. He used to like certain things, you know, and I would go out and get it. And I would never forget, right before he would come, he would get on Skype. And he would call Reggie and say, oh, you need to wash the car, or the truck needs to be washed. And he was like, man, what you talking about? why do I need to wash the car or the truck? And he'd be like, because I'll be out there tomorrow. And he always had a key to either the truck or the car. You know, that was one of his vehicles to get around in and everything like that. But I can say that I love him so much. I truly miss him. We have this picture that you guys been showing here on our fireplace, a big size picture we went and had blown up yesterday and framed, custom framed, and it's right here. Leno is right here with us. I just want Alexis to know that I love you, you know, and Alicia and Angie and Ray Ray. I just had so much fun with, I thought Ray Ray was quiet. I thought Leno was quiet too, but once you get to know them, they're not quiet. They can talk, and I enjoy them so much. But I just want everybody to know in the family that your prayers are with us. We love you. Definitely love Leno. Matter of fact, shortly before he passed away, he called and said he had came over actually to spend a couple of days with us. And when he got up and I made breakfast, he was like, "Oh, Auntie," he said, "you got some vegan sausage or bacon?" And I was like, "Oh no, I don't." And I said, "Oh, you don't eat this kind no more?" And he was like, "No." So a few weeks after that, he called and he said, "I'll be up there for a couple of days." And I went out, ran out to the store to make sure I had him some vegan sausage and all the other vegan stuff he has. And, you know, every time I open up the freezer and refrigerator, his vegan sausage is still in there. So I miss him. I love him. I will forever love him. And all you guys just take care. Love you guys all.
Thank you. Yes, Shay is going to say a few words. You can stand right here.
I'm short. So Mel and I have been friends since we were 12 and 13 years old. I met her in middle school and spent a lot of time at her house. And the first time I saw Leno, I fell in love with him. I don't know who Mel told, but I don't know if she kept my secret, but I crushed on Leno for a good 2 years. I used to sit in class and just draw his name with hearts all around it. And I'm a pack rat, and I still have one of those papers with his name with those hearts around it to this day. And after I got over crushing on Leno, he became Cousin Leno. And he was just always fun. I'm a poet also. He would always encourage me to get up at Apache, but I had stage fright. But he would never stop trying to encourage me and everything. I just always remember Leno being fun, picking with the Shay, just, you know, that was just Leno. When he walked in the room, he didn't even have to say anything. He could just smile and everybody had just, you know, flock to him or whatnot. And then he became Callie Sparks. And I think I got a friend request or something. I'm like, who is this? And then I had to look, I said, oh, okay, this is Leno. Okay, that's what's up. But I wasn't gonna come today because I didn't know if I can look at all y'all and keep it together. And I had to think about it. And I said, Shay, you being selfish because Leno was never selfish to you, and y'all as a family have never been selfish to me. So I had to be here for Mel and all of y'all. And I just say thank you for being a presence in my life. And thank you for putting that beautiful boy on earth so I could crush on him for 2 years.
Anyone else? Melody?
Back there was like, you gonna say something? I'm like, no.
Okay. I look cute? Hey fam. So y'all know me and Alicia are the same age, grew up together from day one. fighting and everything. And when my cousin tells me I need to go do something, I'm going to go do it. But Lano, oh God, so many stories. But I'm gonna tell y'all this one. Lano, when he decided that he was gonna just do his spoken word, we were talking one day because I remember he had a great job and he was in school and he was doing all of this. And he said, I'm not working for the man no more. I said, what you mean not working for the man no more? That's it. I quit my job. I said, what about school? He's like, that's it. I was like, okay, you know, consciousness. He was all about that. And so I bought a condo over in Buckhead. And so when he was always doing his spoken word, I was the crash pad for in Atlanta because I was the only family member that lived in Atlanta. Everybody else was way out in Lawrenceville. That was a little dig to y'all. I'm just playing. But so he'll call me up and he'll be like, cousin, I'm going to Apache or wherever he was going. And he'd be like, can I come over? And I'd be like, sure, cuz, you know. He was like, well, are you going to be there? I was like, probably not, but you know, come over, get the key. Sometimes he would come over for days at a time. Sometimes he would say he's coming back, but he had the key. But one thing he would always say, and he always brought this up to me, Angie, because we were just talking in the end of June and he was talking about all the past. And he was like, cousin, you remember when I used to come stay with you and you never had any food? I'm like, what? He's like, you never got any food. And he would tell everybody that I didn't have food. And it was not true. I had food. And I'd be like, cuz I got food. I did have food. So I would be like, for like fruits and stuff, but I had like frozen chicken in there and fish, and I'd be like, get some sweet potatoes in there and some canned green beans. He like, cousin, that ain't food. Where the snacks? That's all he wanted was the snacks, because he couldn't cook. The man couldn't cook. And I'd be like, it's food there, cousin. You just gotta cook. I'm on my prep. Nobody's eating chips and donuts and ice cream and all of that stuff. So if any of you guys know Lano, he always came over your house and ate all your snacks. Well, I was always in prep for competition, so I didn't have any of the bad snacks. Another fun memory was I had my little second car and he didn't really have a license at that time. Y'all remember them days? And so I'd be like, well, cuz you could take my car. I was like, just, you know, be careful. So I would leave him the keys to the car. You know, he'd drive illegally to wherever he was going. You know what I'm saying? So I just loved having my cuz come crash with me. And I know a lot of y'all didn't know, we actually spent a lot of time together doing his starving artist days because I was the in-town crash pad. So I love my cousin. I'm going to miss him dearly. The confirmation from this brother in the back, the fact that he gave his life to Christ about 2 years ago. And I remember having that conversation with him because y'all remember when Lano was a Muslim? Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with being a Muslim. But, you know, I remember when he was studying, you know, being a Muslim, and I remember him having his Quran, and he was like, no, cousin, you can't touch my Quran. And I was like, why not, cuz? I can't touch the Quran. I want to read it, you know? And he was like, can't touch the Quran. And so I was excited that he just had some type of spiritual base, but it really made me excited when we were talking a few years ago and he had told me how he had gave his life, you know, over. And so even though it is a troubling time to lose somebody that young, it fills my heart with joy to know. And Shaitan, we were talking about his salvation, the fact that he knows how good our God is. I don't know about y'all, but I serve an awesome God. And I haven't been there yet, but I heard, this is what I heard, y'all. I heard after we leave here, we go somewhere. And I'm not one of the people where I believe in like that whole like physical hell and physical heaven and all of that. It is being in the presence of God. That's what heaven is. And to me, hell is not being in the presence of God. And from what I hear, once you sit at that throne of our King, nothing even matters because everything is so amazing and so beautiful. And that is the ultimate goal, to sit at the throne of God and just want to serve him. So when every time I think of my cousin and I start getting a little sad, I start thinking about how awesome he is sitting in front of the King. That young black king is sitting at the throne of the true and one living King. And don't nothing get better than that. So I want to just say thank you, Lord. I want to praise him, lift him up. I am so excited about the 46 years of my cousin's life that I've been able to share with him. So let's just remember that that man is with the true king, and nothing takes away the joy of that. Thank y'all.
Anyone else? Anyone on Zoom?
Yeah, I had something to say. Can y'all hear me?
If you could move your mic a little bit closer.
Okay, is that better?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm one of the ones that like I guess I was there during those starving artist days, as well as we began to explore the world of entrepreneurship and all of that. And you know, I just really had a lot of love for this brother, and you know, I'm just so in awe of hearing all of the different stories. I think it's so cool what a testament this is to like how much people love this brother. I think that you know, I could just like everybody else, I got so many stories, you know. It would be me, him, Intellect, this brother named Malachi, Tommy Bottoms. We were the ones that were like really out there kind of like pushing product, because it was a little bit deeper for us. We was trying to make sure that we could survive. And you know, one of the things about him is that he always has so much passion for his craft, and you know, he was always just such a loyal supporter. Somebody earlier nailed it, and I was so happy that somebody got it right, because when we talk about his penchant for bringing up the past, that's exactly what it was. It was the fact that that was his way of inspiring you and reminding you of different pieces of your highlight footage that you might be not even really noticing or paying attention to. And he's like, nah, in that moment, you had captured greatness. And he don't want you to forget that. And to me, that sums up who he was. And, you know, I know he's somewhere adding to our guardian angels right now. And I just want to say, love you, Callie. That was it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good.
Alexis is going to say a few words. Oh, Bryson wants to talk again.
I had a video that I wanted to show, because you know Uncle was always for the kids, always around the kids, and he had.
Can you send it to me?
Send it to you?
Yeah, if you can.
It's a YouTube
text
video.
it to me. Oh, it's a YouTube video.
Yeah.
What is the title? I can look it up. Let's see.
And like, you know, he was always for the kids, always around the kids. Love Jalen, love Bria, love, you know, everybody. He was a family man, and he inspired. Jalen told me he inspired the neighbors, and he had made this video, probably 7, 8 years old. I mean, yeah, I got whooped. That's cool. Yeah. No, he was just, you know, he had made this, he made videos. He still has videos on YouTube from like 5, 4 years ago. Excuse me, question. Oh, my bad. Yeah, like, he was some drop attitude, don't listen, follow instructions. I'll always be more in trouble, real and different, always one. So like, yeah, but yeah, he had made this vampire video.
Thank you, Bryson. Anyone else? Alexis? All right.
Okay. First thing I want to say, I'm thanking my daughter, Lisa, and my son-in-law, Franz, for this awesome celebration. Lena will be so impressed, so happy. You guys have shown all the people, a lot of people that have been in his life. And this was totally awesome. That video that Bryson just showed, it just reminded me, Leno loved that job. He worked at a karate after school program. And
Yes,
his
he did. He
main-
loved that job. He did.
he did, Mercedes. Any type of holiday that came up, he always had a theme. He would build stuff, just totally into the kids. And he would have like a parents' night out, and he like always invited his nieces and nephews to come to Kicking Kids and hang out with him and do all the fun stuff. He did so much stuff. I'm gonna go way back. Him and Ray Ray were little boys. They're only 1 year apart. And I would dress them alike. It was so easy to buy just two of the same thing. I dressed them alike till they were about 4 and 5 years old. They used to play together. They just had so much fun. They had matching coats and just some everything. Then Alicia came along. And that's when I think Lena was a little jealous of his sister because, you know, she started getting the girly attention, of course. And their daddy, oh my gosh, Alicia would say Lena or Ray Ray hit her, and they would get ass whooping. Oh yeah, oh yeah, they sure did. I remember one particular time, Lena pushed Alicia down, and she actually broke her arm. But she cried wolf so much, we didn't believe the arm was broke. So she kept complaining, and she told her daddy about it. We ended up taking her to the hospital. Sure enough, she had a fractured arm or your shoulder. One of them. But anyway, growing up, Leno, he was a fun guy. When he got into the spoken word, he did that for about 10 years. And I always told him, I said, son, you need a real job. Spoken word should just be your side hustle. You know, I know you enjoy it. He's like, Ma, I can make a living out of this. I'm like, okay. He would make his books, he would make CDs. He was extremely creative, that's for sure. We really didn't see his dream. The family really did not see his dream. Because everybody, you know, we used to getting that paycheck every 2 weeks or every week. Leno was on the hustle, you know, spoken word was gonna pave the way for him. And he did a lot of traveling all over, met a lot of people. He did a lot with spoken word, but if I guess it finally set in with him, no, this ain't gonna get it. But he was always trying to do family stuff. He loved playing games. I taught him how to shoot pool. And when he first moved out here, you know, we go to the pool hall. Ray could always beat me, but Leno, nah, no, he couldn't. But eventually, once I started wearing glasses, he started beating me, okay? He was just extremely, like I said, creative. But when a couple years ago, when he had the health issue, and I brought him back here to Georgia, and he was not happy. He was not happy here in Georgia at all. We definitely, somehow it's like every year, one of us would get on his it list, okay? It list. And I can say it? Okay, the shit list. He might stop talking to Leisha or Ray or Andrea for a couple months or longer. And
Telling the truth.
yeah. So not somehow, I know how I got on the list. When we all lived together and things were not going his way. And anyway, I ended up on the shit list. And yeah, he didn't talk to me for a while. And, you know, I would reach out and text him and he wouldn't respond. And that went on for a while. But when he made up his mind, he told me, he said, Mom, I'm going to move back to California. I said, okay, son, all right. So he made the move back, found him a job, got his girl back. Him and the girl, you know, they was off and on for a number of years. He was just about to get his own spot. He was staying with my brother-in-law, and had just got his car. And he started calling me once he moved back to California. He started calling at least once a week. So we would always, and like everybody was saying, he was a debater. Yes. He loved to debate. If I said it was raining, he might say, no, it's just a little misty, you know, the sun's coming out, whatever. So we would have these debates back and forth. But I loved my second son to the moon and back. He knows that. So with his passing, I was there when he took the last breath. And I told him, I said, okay, son, I'm gonna let you go. You're gonna go up there with Mom. Mom will look, you got both your grandmothers up there. I said, you got your favorite cousin, which was Idris. He passed a long time ago. And I said, your daddy. I said, mind you, Ray was the kid's daddy. He had nicknames for all the kids. And Leno was Balaboo. Who knows where that came from? But Balaboo. So I told him, I said, you know what? Your daddy gonna say, first he gonna punch you in the chest and say, Balaboo, what you doing here? It's too soon, you know? So with that being said, I appreciate everyone that has come out today. I have my moments, of course, but I'm focusing on all the fun times we had together, and there was a lot. I could talk about different times, fun times, but Leno was that guy. He was that guy, and we all gonna miss him. And you're not supposed to bury your children. It was not supposed to happen like this. And he was only 46, and you know, was getting his life together. And I'm just very sad. And it's gonna probably never really, my heart probably never really heal. But I appreciate everybody that's here today. And please continue to say prayers for our family. We all need it. And rest in peace, son.
Yeah. Yes.
So I tried to record videos and it was not a success. I didn't think that I could get up here today, but I want to clarify a couple things. First of all, my brothers were baptized when they were children at Mount Olive Baptist Church in Saginaw. And when Ray Ray got baptized, I said, okay, let me see if Leno gonna get baptized too. And he did. And I told Grandma Nadine, I said, can I get baptized? And she's like, you too young. And you know, Lena was like, you ugly. That's why you can't get baptized. So, you know, I prayed about it, and my brothers are the reason why I got baptized. There are too many memories of my brother, good memories. You know, whatever they did, I wanted to do. And I'm gonna clear up one more thing. I told on them because they were mean to me, okay? They were getting whoopings because they were being mean. So today is, you know, it's unreal for myself, for my mother, for my children, and we're gonna miss Leno. Yes, he was a great debater. He was a great debater, that he was passionate about, you know, getting his point across. And he would tell me, we're not arguing, we're having, this is a passionate conversation. And I'm like, Leno, you just need to calm down, tone it down. I am in pain because Leno did everything right. He has been competing with me all of my life. Since I stepped on this earth, Leno has had it in for me. And the one thing about him is that, you know, although we had our sibling rivalry, Leno always told me that he was proud of me. He always said, you know, yeah, my sis, you know, he gave me my props. He was my hype man too. And I'm saddened because I didn't have the opportunity to tell him that I was proud of him. He would come over and he's talking this poetry and stuff. And I told him, I said, 1, you rap too fast. Number 2, you're an angry rapper. Number 3, you need to slow down, you know? And I didn't go to those Apache and all this spoken word stuff because we were rap battling as children. I would call into the radio station and rap and I would win, okay? So Leno, I didn't know he was secretly making more raps trying to get better than me, but he became a poet. And I'm reading the poetry and I'm listening to his CDs. And on this day, I can say, okay, Leno, you won. You won, you know, and I'm proud of you and we love you. It doesn't seem real and it doesn't seem right. We will miss you. We love you. I wrote a poem, you know, I tried to record that and my husband told me to just do it. So 1 second. The poem is called Mon frère. Mon frère, je t'adore, je t'adore. Pourquoi, mon frère, vous allez sans un au revoir? Mon frère, nous avons besoin de toi. S'il vous plaît, mon frère, nous voulons entendre ta voix. La jour, le soir, je cherche pour une réponse. Hier, aujourd'hui, du monde, je ne trouvais pas. Mon frère, cet amour, c'est vrai. Rentre à la maison, les enfants aimeraient jouer. Tes filles, ma fille, et tous les garçons, Raven, Rashawn, Jemiah, Janice, Charnice, Shalia, Taylor, et Jelon. N'oubliez pas Dewan, Bree, et votre petit baby Bryson. Mon frère, je t'adore, je t'adore. Pourquoi, mon frère, vous allez sans un au revoir? Mon frère, nous avons besoin de toi. S'il vous plaît, mon frère, nous voulons entendre ta voix.
Anyone else would like to say a word? Anyone on Zoom? All right, well, I guess we will conclude today's service. Thank you so much for your attention, your love, and we'll keep Leno's spirit alive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Oh my goodness, so good.